All right, guys, welcome back to Designing the Best You. We are closing in on season 8 here, and something that's been really deep in the job search right now is senior leaders struggling. And I mean senior by like 40 to 55, maybe 60 years old, and you lost a job or you're looking for that last step there and you're struggling. You're like, it's 2025. It is a tough market, right? And we're like, what is next? So we speak here very openly about transitions, especially the ones no one warned us about. I have quite a few clients right now where we're sitting here and going, okay, never had to do this job search thing before, and the whole just submitting your resume online ain't working. Okay? It's a gamble. I call it the 80-20. Like, you can apply 20% online, but the rest of it, there's some new things that we have to be working through, okay? So, if you're in the middle of a job search right now, especially as that senior leader, I want you to know this episode is for you. And I want to speak into something again I hear over and over and over again. Okay. It's painful, it's confusing, and it's very humbling, as hard as it is. Okay. And if you said it or felt it, I want you to know you're not alone. There are thousands of people out there dealing with what you're dealing with. It's not right, it's not wrong, it just is. You're not outdated, okay? I want you to know that. You're not underestimated. You're not aged out, as a lot of people have been telling me too. Um, People are afraid. On a sort of side note, a lot of people in that age group I have heard are they don't even want to put their profile picture up or update it online because it's got them with white hair, and they're like, they're going to look at me differently. That's a sad place to be in, guys. And I'm not saying it for the person, the professional. I'm saying for our world. If we're judging people by how they look, how old or young they are, we got it wrong. We have got it all wrong. And here's the thing is the noise of 2025 is loud. Okay. It's got so many things going on. It's got all this AI, it's got automated hiring systems, right? We've got this obsession with digital narratives. Okay. And there's this really, what do I want to say, like low hum in the background that says, but what if it's not true? What if this moment in time isn't about what making room for the next generation, but learning how to stand shoulder to shoulder with them? And so I want to talk about that. And so let's just put it out there. Let's talk about that elephant in the room. Okay. Let's talk about it. You and I did not grow up with AI. Okay. My kids and kids of their generation, they don't know life without the internet. They're not going to know life without AI. Okay. We didn't start our careers talking to chatbots or writing prompts to generate pitch decks, or whatever you guys want to name it these days. Okay. But here's the thing that most people aren't realizing: AI is a tool, it's not a leader. And it's only going to take and give you and output what is put in online. Okay. We're in a world that is drowning in data. All of you data nerds out there, there's so much out there. It's very overwhelming. Okay. And we're really desperate for discernment. What is right and what is wrong? What is out there anymore? Right. And so, you guys, I'm talking to senior leaders, you know how to sense when a room is off, when a deal's about to fall through, when a team's burning out. And here's the thing: AI can't do that. It never, I shouldn't say never, because I don't know, but I have a really, really, really strong feeling it never will be able to. It can't replace the way that you coach, the way that you mentor, the way that you train, de escalate situations. It can't replace your calm, during a crisis. It can't replace your ability to see patterns over years, not just quarters, right? So I want to say it plainly to you right now. As a senior leader in your job search, you, I want you really to take this to heart and think about it. You bring context to a world that is obsessed with content. That's leadership. I mean, I sit there and I look at everyone's all about the content, 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 content. Great. You can post all the content. I post a lot of it. Yes. But if you're not taking that content and bringing context to a situation, you're not bringing leadership. But if you're bringing context to a world that is obsessed with content and obsessed with the AI, that's leadership. But always a but. Always a but, always a but. I live with boys, always about butts, okay? The new world of work, this 2025, doesn't reward tenure alone. What I've seen it rewarding is adaptability. It rewards people who learn out loud, okay? And that invitation, it's right in front of you right now. Remember back when we were like in our teens and our early 20s? To get to where we are today, we had to be teachable. And you guys know so much as senior leaders. It's almost hard to be teachable again. A lot of my clients in these later stages are like, I know I got to do this, but this is hard. It's hard to be teachable at these ages. It really is. And this is not because you're starting over. Okay, this is not let's go back to our 20s and we got to start and we got to learn all the AI stuff and all the technology. No. This is not because you're starting over. It's because you're layering. You're adding new skills to a deep well of wisdom that you have. Okay. So I want to share a story because I love stories and people remember stories. Okay. So if you don't remember anything, remember this story. Okay. So I was working with a former COO, decades of experience. Okay. Fortune 100 pedigree. He applied to 67 jobs and got 2 interviews. Both of them told him, quote, off the record, he was too experienced. Now, you know what that translates to? We're afraid you're going to cost too much, expect too much, and challenge us too much. I mean, don't you want that in a company? I would believe so, right? So here's what we did next. We said, we're stopping. We're going to stop chasing the titles and we're chasing impact. If you guys have worked with me in any capacity or you've been following me for a while, I hate titles. Every company I've been at, they've asked me to create a title and I'm like, I don't know. I just pick something because titles aren't important. Okay. So we rewrote his resume to speak that language of 2025, lean, digital, AI aware, not trendy, just informed. Okay. So then he started reaching out to founders who were overwhelmed and said, I've done what you're trying to do. Can I walk with you? So many of you guys out there are like, get me a job. I don't have a job. I need to pay bills. We all have to pay bills. The companies have to pay bills. Everyone does. We all want to provide. That's innate in us. But the way that we present ourselves, our services to other people, think about it. If someone reached out to you knowing that your company was struggling, your business was struggling, and you're like, I can't handle this anymore. And they reached out and said, you know what? I've been where you're at. I've done it. It's hard. Can I walk with you? What a difference. So what he did is he stopped trying to fit in. Again, if you guys have been walking with me, job descriptions, I hate that people are trying to force us into a box. And if you meet X amount of criteria, you're good, right? Or if you don't, or you're overqualified or too experienced, bye. No, right? So we stopped trying to fit in and started being clear about what he brings to the table. Guys, it was amazing. He got hired, okay? He got hired at that company where he said, can I walk with you? Now, it wasn't just immediately, right? They sat down, they had multiple conversations and stuff. And this wasn't a giant company, but it was a company that was ready to grow into a giant who saw they actually needed a grown up in the room. Okay. So let's talk about 3 ways that you guys as senior leaders can thrive, not just survive, but thrive in the job market of 2025. So if you've got your pen and paper, great. If you're in the car, save this and do it later. Don't do it in the car. Okay. Number 1, I want you to become AI literate, not an expert. You don't need to become a prompt engineer, but you do need to understand the basics. Like, what tools are being used in your field? How is AI impacting hiring, operations, decision making? Right? If you can ask good questions about AI, you already stand out. Okay. Because most executives are still pretending it's a fad. I don't see it going away, to be honest, anytime soon. I'll be completely open and honest. I didn't want to use it at first, but now I use it to ask questions, to find out some more information, to get all my data kind of in one spot as much as possible. Even just sometimes I even use it to just be like, I'm struggling to find this set of words. Please help me. Because we have so much going on, sometimes we need to focus. Okay. So curiosity over competency. Okay. Let yourself be a student again. It's actually kind of fun. I have some fun with it sometimes. Okay. So that's number 1. Number 2, I want you to lead like a coach, not a commander. Okay. Gone are those days of command, control, leadership. That's fading, guys. Today's teams, and this has actually been for a while, but it's really starting to stand out here in 2025. Today's teams want leaders who are emotionally intelligent. They're collaborative. They're transparent. They show their feelings. Your job as a senior leader is not to know everything. Okay. That you got to know a little bit about some stuff. Okay. But I want this to be very clear. Your job is to draw out the best in everyone. It's to listen deeper than the data. It's to model self-awareness in a world that's chasing the self-promotion. AI can replicate skills, but it cannot replicate presence. When you are standing in a room, how do people feel when you're in the room? And even more so, how do they feel once you've left the room? Okay. Number 3. Okay. Here's number 3. Okay. Number 3, stop applying and start connecting. Okay. I know this is going to be a really hard truth because everyone's like, well, it's the only way I can get a job. Most resumes, as you guys have probably experienced, never are seen by human eyes. These applicant tracking systems, they screen things before your story even gets a chance, and they're not even going to read your story. Okay. So if you're spending 90% of your time clicking submit and wondering why nothing happens, time to pivot. Done. Spend that time reaching out. Okay. Like my client, connect with past colleagues, join founder forums. Those are huge right now. Attend small virtual gatherings where you can speak up, not just show up. Okay. And your next role is likely going to come through a conversation, not an application. Okay. So I know this season can feel like, what's the word I want to say? Exile. Okay. Like you were once invited to that table and now you're just waiting in the lobby. But here's the truth that I want to leave you with. You're not in exile. You're in equipping. This waiting season, it's not wasted. It's not a punishment. It's preparation for a role, guys, that requires everything you've walked through, right? Remember we talked about the layering? We're layering. And it's this waiting period, this season is for a team that's desperate for your calm, your clarity, your courage. Don't believe that lie that you've been left behind, that you're worthless, that you're aged out. You're being positioned. Now, you guys know that I'm a believer, and a lot of times God's preparing the people and the company that you're working with And he needs that time, right? Because we're stubborn human beings, right? And he needs that time. And if he put you in there right now, everyone would fail. But he's preparing you and preparing them. So use this time as thinking of you're being positioned. So here's your permission slip. Permission slip. Here's a permission slip. You're allowed to reimagine. Remember when we were kids and we just imaginations ran wild? I listen to my kids and I'm like, what was that? That doesn't make sense. But think about it. You're allowed to reimagine life. You're allowed to learn something new. You're allowed to be a beginner again. Humble yourself. And here's the deal, none of it cancels out all those decades behind you. So if this episode encouraged you, resonated with you, I want you to not only just take that for yourself, but pass it along to someone else in the middle. We don't have to walk this alone. You are never meant to walk any part of life alone, okay? So until next time, stay grounded, stay curious, stay open. I'm in this with you. And we're here to design the best you because the world needs you at your best.